Okay, so let's talk about food and cooking. What sort of food do you like eating the most?
I normally prefer Eastern foods because I think the ingredients and the flavors, the spices, almost everything. I really like everything about Eastern foods. I normally try to eat Burmese traditional dishes most of the time. However, sometimes I also like to explore Western dishes that I'm not very familiar with.
Okay. Who normally does the cooking in your home?
I would say my mom, obviously, but in my household, I think my mom is not the only person who does the cooking because my father and my sister also loves to do cooking. I mean, including I myself, I love to cook. I love to show my love to my family members through cooking. So yeah, I like to try on different dishes. I like to basically prepare everything for them.
Okay, so do you watch cookery programs on TV?
Um, Unfortunately, I don't. I am not really interested in watching those kind of cookery programs. Although I understand that there are some popular programs like MasterChef, but still, I think I'm not really into them. I think this is not really the form of entertainment that I like. However, I really appreciate when people share some short documentaries on Facebook or on social media. I try to watch them, but not intentionally, of course.
Yeah. So in general, do you prefer eating out or eating at home?
Oh, that's a very tricky question. I think I like to eat out more, although it's a little bit much more expensive because I think I like to spend my money on foods, I guess. So whenever I find out a very decent and amazing restaurant, I try to go there, explore some dishes, and yeah, that's what I like to do. But for me, I would say that food is a sort of some sort of energy boosting thing. So that's why I always like to try different dishes in different restaurants. Yes.
Okay, so let's move to songs and singing. Do you enjoy singing when you were younger?
I was not again eagerly interested in singing when I was young. I have to say that I'm still not very arty. So singing songs, playing music and instruments and everything, they are not just my cup of tea. But as I get older and older, I really like to listen songs. But apart from that, I'm not very gifted at anything in terms of, yeah, of course, music. Mm.
So if you had to choose something, do you have a favorite song you like to listen to?
Um, I don't really have a favorite song that I really want to highlight because I listen to many songs. Yeah. I mean, even just within a day. So I would say I can't just highlight my favorite one. I'm a big fan of mainstream pop, and because you know their lyrics are quite not. I mean, they're easy to remember, very catchy, very upbeat. So I would say these are the type of songs that I listen to, but I really can't find my favorite song to display right now.
So yeah, in general, how important is singing in your culture?
In my culture, I believe singing is important to a level, especially in some religious ceremonies and festivals. I always see singing as a form of, I would say, entertainment. And of course, it's also a form of communicating with the audience. So I would say, yeah, that's what I like to do. Um, but apart from that, I really don't have enough knowledge to expand. Yes.
Yeah. So let's move to the next session about animals. Are there many animals or bad where you live?
Um, Unfortunately, again, there are not many animals or bats in the vicinity where I live because I live in a metropolitan city, a very crowded area, a very hustle and bustle area. So it's very rare for me to see many animals wandering here. Although I see some dogs and cats and some birds, some common birds. But apart from that, I think it's just people, yeah, wandering around. That's it.
Okay. So how often do you watch programs or read articles about wild animals?
Oh, I would say that I am a big fan of wildlife documentary films and, of course, wildlife documentary movies and series and everything. They just pop up randomly on YouTube, and I really adore it. Especially, I really love the nature of the animals, and I also love the freedom that they have. Especially, when I see documentaries from, let's say, Africa, I don't know, Savannah and stuff like that, they look extremely free, and I really adore it. So yeah, I would say that I'm a big fan of watching that kind of documentaries.
Okay, so would you like to have a job working with animals, especially with wild animals?
Oh, that's a very tricky one. Despite the fact that I love animals a lot, I might not consider working with them because I'm a little bit afraid of them first. But it would be a very adventurous, and I think I might take a chance. Yeah, if I'm given a chance, obviously. But there might be a few animals that I really hate to work with. For example, snakes. I would say they are not only venomous. At the same time, I would say they are also dangerous for me, right? So yeah, apart from that kind of um, animals, but I am pretty okay with most of the animals. Yes.
Okay, so this is the end of the part one. And so part two, you will have 1 minute to prepare a note, and then you are allowed to talk about for 2 minutes. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so here is the topic that you have to prepare for the notes. So 1 minute start
Yes.
now.
Can I start now? Prepare. Okay, cool.
Thank you. So, okay, so if you're ready, you can start with now.
Okay, so there is one particular author or writer that I would like to meet if I have a chance. However, unfortunately, I believe she died. So I would say that basically can never happen. But let's imagine that she was alive now. So that would be she would be my favorite author that I would like to meet. Her name is Agatha Christie, and she is also known as the Queen of Crime because most of her novels and short stories are all about crimes and detective stories. I really like the fact that most of the detective stories that she wrote are quite adventurous and quite bold and very thrilling for me. So whenever I really have nothing to do, I have nothing to do, then I try to read the stories of the novels she wrote, and it really enhances my critical thinking because I really have to work together with the detectives to find out who the criminal is. And I also like to guess the plot and everything. So, and I would say that the author married two times in her life. Yeah, once the first, and then she got married again. And I think that's a really wonderful thing, because from my point of view, sometimes she looks a little bit off because she basically writes some detective stories, but at the same time, she seems very nice and friendly. um, I think one thing that is very strange about her is that she has a very creative and imaginative brain in her head, which can create characters and plots in a very strange and unique way. That's groundbreaking, right? But now she died, so I might not have a chance to see her, obviously. But still, if I have a chance, I really like to see her. I just want to have a very colorful conversation, and I just want to know what kind of books she like to read, what kind of kind of developments she normally likes to do, and I think that would be extremely amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So let's go to the part three. So this time, what kind of books are most popular with children in your country? If so, why do you think that is?
In my country, I would say cartoons, magazines, I would say, and pictorial magazines, most of them are very popular and well known among young children. I have to say that, yeah, as we all know, young children are very much invested in looking at the photos, for example, and in reading cartoons, right? Because they love the characters, they love the animals, they love how the story is portrayed. So these stories are the most popular among young children. I really have to say that pictorial, the pictures, the paintings, they are the most compelling, the most interesting things that young children love. For example, when I was young, I used to read Shui Dui, which used to be a very, very popular children magazine when I was young. So it included tons of, I would say, pictures, characters that are mostly animals. And I think that's what's really attracted me when I was young. Yes.
Okay, so why do you think some children do not read books very often?
That's a very controversial issue, but from my point of view, I believe the main reasons why some young children don't like to read books a lot, depends hugely on their parents' actions. Sometimes most of the parents don't understand the power of reading books and they don't encourage their children to read more books. And I think that's the fundamental root of this issue. However, at the same time, I also have to highlight the popularity of social media and of course the rise of the trend of the electronic devices such as smartphones, tablets, and of course including the internet. So I would say these are all the things that deter a young child to read books. So from my point of view, if the parents can really show a sense of responsibility and of course a sense of encouragement to their children to read books, then this problem might be solved to a level.
Okay, brilliant. So, are there any occasion when reading as speed is a useful skill to have?
Pardon?
Yes. Are there any occasion when reading at speed is a useful skill to have?
I would say that in some tests, obviously, yeah, in some tests you have to read really fast to get the answer, and in some tests you also have to read, I would say, in a high speed with a very high speed to highlight the answer or to get the answer. I would say reading first is not always good, but at the same time it also invites some advantages. So when you read novels and short story, you don't have to read a lot, but when you read articles in some tests, then you have to read a lot. Read really fast to get the answer. So that would be the time I would say.
Okay, so this is the last question of the test. Do you think reading novel is more interesting than reading vegetable? So why it is that?
That is quite intriguing for me. I would say that yes, I definitely agree with the idea because, as we all know, reading novels it's really fascinating because you can just imagine your characters in your head. The author, like the writer, just displays his sense of creativity in the book, and you really have enough freedom. You just have, I would say, enough freedom to create these characters in your head, and that's why I believe some fictional novels are a lot better than factual books. At the same time, I really understand the importance of factual books to a level. These can display a sense of data and information to you, and that's why most people love it. But for me, as someone who likes to think, as someone who likes to imagine, I would definitely say that fictional novels are a lot better than factual books, and most of the factual books are quite boring to me.
Thank you. So this is the end of the speaking test. So yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for your time and I appreciate your effort.
Thank you.